Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And today I am so happy. I am about to have a chat with the phenomenal underground visionary filmmaker, Guerrilla Metropolitana. Yay! Hello, how are you doing?
Fine. How are you, Del? Good to be here.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
excellent. Thank you for squeezing me in. I mean, I know you've been just phenomenally busy. I mean, I've seen you in interviews about, so we're talking about The Benefactress today and exposure of cinematic freedom. It's a film that runs for about an hour and 7 minutes. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and it's your second feature film. So Darius, of course, being the first, which was groundbreaking in itself, and then we get The Benefactress, which blew my mind. It blew my mind. I think I might only be one or two females that has reviewed this for you. I think
Uh,
Meredith
so
Brown.
far, so
Yeah,
far, yeah. Although there are other people, on the line.
yeah.
Yeah. So far, yourself, you've been the main one, definitely. Yeah. Female. Yeah.
Oh, I love supporting the work you do. I just love the fact that you're just so unconventional. Your films are shocking, but they're not that's not the fact of the films. You know what I mean? They're definitely not there for shock factor or sexual gratification or anything like that. It's just you making a film that's been in your head. And tell me about that. What made you want to do this film? Like, is that too big a question or
No, 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 no. I wanted to make this film fundamentally to destroy any possible connection with traditional filmmaking. First of all, um, I wanted to break free from all classic rules of cinema, from storytelling, plot, subject, location, development, acting, direction, editing. Uh, I was searching for the perfect imperfection. In other words, I've tried to put myself in a position of a little kid, a 5, 6, 7 years old kid, holding the camera and trying to film with, you know, imperfect camera shots, defected camera shots with fingers in front of the screen and, very messy deliberately. The plot in this film is bare minimum, and that is the reason why the film is so polarizing, because most films revolve around the script, revolve around the story, revolve around subject development. This film doesn't do any of that. This film has a bare minimum plot, which is vaguely explained in the beginning, and then the rest of the film is 95% of it is pure improvisation, pure experimentation. And I went with the flow, in the moment, to the point, as I said in previous interviews, I did have a series of drafts ready to follow. But once I was at that particular location for the weekend with my actresses, after a couple of scenes, I've decided, you know what, fuck this shit, and I started going free without even following my own rules. And that was the spirit. The actresses didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't know what was going to happen next. And I chose actresses that were not only perfect for the roles, but also that could physically stimulate me, um, arouse me, because as my arousal progressed, my mind envisioned the sequences bit by bit, and that's why in the film, especially from uh, halfway on, from halfway through, you can hear my voice saying, "Come on, do this. Come on, do that. More, more, more." This was um, in line with my uh, erection fundamentally. I had the blessing of working with two wonderful actresses. Juicy X, the star, she plays the benefactress. She is a phenomenal actress, so powerful and so evil. I think with
Mm.
Juicy X, I was able to reach in terms of acting, in terms of performance, um, the highest level of female cruelty and unemotional approach towards other people's suffering. And with the co-star, Mystery Woman, uh, brilliant actress, able to portray agony, pain, suffering, humiliation, like I've never seen, and all of that wearing a mask and a wig. So
Yes.
to be able to portray that level of suffering and agony and having your face pretty much covered, um, it takes a lot of acting skills. And
Yes.
additionally, Mystery Woman allowed me to engage with her sexually for real in a few scenes throughout the film. That wasn't originally planned, um, but I did want to physically possess Mystery Woman. And I told her that day on the set, to say, I actually asked her, um, is it okay if I do it for real? And she gave me access basically, and she said yes. And that was phenomenal.
Wow.
It was phenomenal because I was able to raise the bar of realism to the ultimate level. I ejaculated also on Juicy X's bum. uh, that is an indication of how powerful my body and electric was feeling during the making of that film. And in other words, it was an atmosphere of orgy and madness and artistic purity, where every one of us, once the doors were locked and we were in that house for the weekend, everybody knew that we were going to be wild because the
Yes.
film required that. And some critics have praised the film as a work of art. Other reviewers, because the film has minimum plot, because the film does not have a regular pace, a regular subject location development, they kind of looked down on it, trashed it. But that's fine because I didn't make that film for a traditional audience of horror or whatever else. I made that film first and foremost to express my vision, but ultimately to address it to an exclusive audience um, who are able to appreciate perhaps a different kind of art form, which is completely unconventional and it makes its own rules of filmmaking. I mean, if you look at the film, there's nothing regular, traditional. There's nothing orthodox, conventional. The film is like one long shot continuously throughout the film, and and there's so much realism, so much authenticity. I remember reading not long ago an imbecile. Actually, this guy is a complete fucking imbecile. He's got a blog, and he gave the film 1 star. But that was not the point. I mean, you can give 1 star, 5 stars. I don't give a shit anyway. But the point is, he wrote in his review that he did not believe that some of the sexual scenes were real because there weren't any close-up shot. And I thought to myself, what an idiot. But not only that, I mean, those kind of audiences that they need a close-up shot to verify the authenticity of a film, they clearly need to wear a pair, basically, because they just don't know that there's many ways to make a film like that. You don't have to do any close-up shot because this film is not porn, it's pornographic.
Exactly.
So if this was a porn film, there would be a close-up shot, but this is
Of
not.
course.
It's pornographic, but it's not porn. And like I said, just like my previous film Darius, which to this day is attracting more and more people, and at the same time is dividing more and more people. If you look the data on internet, you have sections of people praising the film and sections of people attacking the film. The same is for the Benefactress. Normally, when a film is so polarizing, 7 times out of 10, it means it has a very unique quality. And I didn't make this film, Del, for today. I made this film for tomorrow. How this film is going to look in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. So, I'm not worried about today, even though things are going pretty well for the film. It has a distribution with blood-packed films on DVD, and Blu-ray. It is on streaming. Soon it will be on more streaming platforms. So the film is going really well. It's being screened in Europe and America in several film clubs. New reviews are coming up. So the film is doing really well, but that's not the point. The point is I want this film to test the time and to be able to be studied, analyzed, appreciated perhaps in the future by people who might look at it and see what's behind the craft, the artistry, the idea of it. This film is a message of hatred towards mainstream cinema, mainstream morality. Anything that today is classified as politically correct, with this film, I shit on it. What does the woke culture or LGTB or liberal dickheads saying, women should not be portrayed like that? That's a very predator-like behavior to make a film like that and to engage with actresses like that. And my answer to that is, you think I'm a predator? You're wrong. I am a super predator. Whatever you think of me, I'm worst. You think I am, perverted, animalistic, son of a bitch? Well, I'll tell you something more. I am far worse than that. you know, far worse than that. And this film is very much the reflection of it. That's why whoever likes this film truly appreciate my vision of cinema. Whoever hates this film clearly hates my guts, but that's okay. I mean, I don't give a fuck either way. I'm a libertarian. I'm a libertine. I'm not a liberal. I'm not politically correct. Like I said, I'm not a feminist. I shit on feminism. I shit on liberalism. I shit on all of these things. You know, I'm a right-wing libertarian. You know, and I am absolutely free as a hard cock.
Yep. Oh my God, you just answered every question I had for you. All right, see you later. No, seriously. How was it like working with Juicy X again? Because she, her portrayal as Hilary Rice in Corporate Torment, It Burns Like Hell, was explosive, but her acting in this film, it just took it to a whole new level. And I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago, and far out, I love that lady. She is just amazing. So I hear there were about, what, 200 candidates or something like that going for this film?
Around 200, 200,
Yeah. And none of them basically fit, did they? I think you had someone who was just about going to be in it, but then at the last minute she pulled out. Was that Rebecca, I think?
No, her name was Dawn. She was interviewed
Dawn.
by Travis. Dawn, she was an
That's
American
right.
actress.
Yeah, what a bummer. But honestly, Juicy X is just she's brilliant, isn't she? She really is really fond of you. She's got nothing but wonderful things to say about you. So I just want to make just make something clear here for everyone who's watching this and has probably watched The Benefactress. There was a safety coordinator on set 24/7. She was out in and out during some of the scenes that were a bit too intimate and needed just you and Mystery Woman together. So that's understandable. The other thing I want to say also is that you guys are all consenting adults. This is not a pornographic film. It's got some pornographic images in it, but it's not a pornographic film because you do not see any of the bits and pieces that basically there's some very profound things going on in this film, right from the storyline of Electra McBride. What a atrocious woman this woman is, to have this film funded, by her. Her husband being a televangelist Christian pastor on some video on demand thing.
Yeah.
And then she goes and finances this film saying she needs authentic sex scenes. Now, that in itself is a storyline and a plot. So I don't know why people are saying stuff like that. There was no storyline, there was no plot, it was gratuitous sexual exploitation of women. Well, it wasn't that at all. So if you do want to go watch it on Foursome TV. It's for free to watch. Be prepared. If you have endured any sort of abuse or something in the past or whatever, perhaps give this one a miss. But what you will see in it is the beauty. Now, you are such an artistic man. Oh my goodness. The editing stage of this, how long did that take? Because I know for Darius it took about 10 months. So we're talking about 6 months editing on this one?
Yeah.
Or was it?
With this film was about 6 months. The experience was quite different with this film because whilst Darius was in chunks, this film was shot all in one weekend. So it was.
That must have been exhausting.
It was because typically when I shoot, I hardly eat or
Yep.
drink. I just smoke, and
Yep. You
I
nearly fainted. You nearly
sorry.
fainted, right? You nearly
Yeah, yeah,
fainted
yeah.
on set.
I was absolutely exhausted because
Yep.
I don't like using camera operators. I don't like using crew as such. I like to do everything on my own. I used multiple cameras for this film,
Yep.
but I was pretty much on my own shooting the material. And because that's the only way I can work. And in regards to the actresses, both Juicy X and Mystery Woman, they were able to do what they did in a very natural way, with consent, as you say, of course, because I think they also felt the vibration, the atmosphere, the electricity that was on set during that weekend. This film was originally meant to be a bit different, actually. Juicy X was meant to be one of the actresses, but
Mhm.
not the main one. Um, and for the victim, the idea originally was to cast a much younger actress.
Right.
Uh, then, for one reason or the other, none of the candidates got through. Some were fired, some left on their own, some wanted to do it, but their husbands
Yeah.
didn't want that. So their husbands, one in particular, uh, sent me death threats on Messenger, and I simply
Jesus.
replied, "Look, I'm not interested in you. I'm interested in your wife. So fuck you." You as simple as that. I mean, I don't give a shit if if he's somebody else's wife. If I like someone, I take her. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So the point
Well, that's
is,
part of your personality, isn't it? It's
yeah, I
it's
mean,
kind of you.
I
Yeah.
don't care if a woman is married. Honestly, I don't give a shit. If I like her, she's mine. Full stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, you know. But at the end, because I restructured the film, I decided to make some changes and give to Juicy X the main role, but instead of playing the original role, which was supposed to be a modern baroness,
Yeah.
I said to Juicy, why don't you play yourself? Juicy X, the actress, who during the day works as a charity worker, and in your workplace, people call you the benefactress because you have such a wonderful heart in helping adult, vulnerable women. And during the evening, you are my actress, so we can put that element in the film, meta cinema basically. And
Yes.
he said, yeah, let's do it. So, and that's how we started. And in regards to the victim, Mystery Woman really came almost at the end, when I saw on social media her picture with a real name. I felt in love with her. I immediately contacted her. I practically seduced her within 5 minutes, and I said, I want you in my film, and I want to see how you look. So send me some pictures of you," which she did. I was happy, aroused, excited. So I said to her, "You're gonna be my actress in this film," and that's how it started. We became very close. To this day, we are very close intimately. She's my muse, and the magic was there. I mean, during the process of filming, the seduction, the sexual electricity between me and Mystery Woman, um, really contributed in regards to the sexual scenes between us and the
Yes.
film in general. And also Juicy X, which I always found really attractive. You know, physically, she has characteristics that I find irresistible, particularly her breasts. You know, so I like women who truly look like ordinary women. I don't like Barbie dolls. I always rejected Barbie dolls. I actually trashed in the past candidates who were Barbie dolls. I
Yeah.
told one in particular, she was a Swedish model, mid 20s, and she sent me some nude pictures of herself. And I told her clearly, look, you know, I'm not hard looking at you. You don't make me hard. So I'm sorry, you're rejected. Just as simple as that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I look at a very ordinary woman, which might not be the most beautiful woman on the planet, but she has some qualities that I find irresistible. And Juicy X has that, as well as
Yes.
Mystery One. And that's
Yes.
why they became my actresses. I mean, they became literally my actresses and the temple of my pleasure.
Yes, wow, that's amazing. That really is. Yeah, that sort of translates really when we're watching the film. There is chemistry there. I can see there's definitely chemistry there between all of you. It To me, it felt like, well, because I know the kind of the process that you went through some of the information you've given me, and it sounded to me like it was almost like a big teenage orgy party or something happening, which is a vibe you really want to have, that on in such a film as this. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked. And I think, um, I watch horror films, obviously, and the actresses are all beautiful, big fake boobs and blonde hair and whatever, the normal trope, horror trope. And then you don't do that at all. You bring in middle-aged women who are menopausal, big busted, voluptuous women that aren't usually in the horror genre as such, because it's not appealing as in to the male audience. But in saying so, they've got the characteristics that you needed, and they that it worked out brilliantly. I mean, even the body language of Mystery Woman, because she we can't see her facial expressions. We had to rely on her body language, and that really, really worked. Because there's no dialogue, obviously, which is another signature of yours that works. I don't know how, but it works brilliantly. There's a lot of subliminal messaging in there as well, which I have tried so many times to slow down, but I couldn't. So, in saying that, I did catch a couple of things, but I think the most profound bit in the film was for me, was when you actually came over on the voiceover saying, "This is real. I am effing her." And it was just like, oh my God, what the hell is going to go on next? And then you have these sexual experiences with Mystery Woman. So this was not at all foreshadowed. You didn't even know that that was going to happen, like, for real, and she was okay with that. I think that says a lot about indie filmmaking in regards to, like, that sort of stuff wouldn't happen in traditional filming, in mainstream films. There'd have to be 100 people standing around that one actress while you're doing all that. I think what I love about indie films is that you can do things like that, um, and make us believe that, this is the plot and everything was for real, when it wasn't. But, I've had so many people say to me, "Oh my god, that it's porn, and it's gross and exploitation against women." And then it's like, "Well, no, you don't get it. It's a niche film, right?" Do you like, I know that, um, you know, uh, that these films are like a legacy for you. And I know this is going to be your very last film. I've heard people saying they don't believe you, but I do believe you. Um, I know you're going to go into other stuff as well, but these films I really, when you're talking about dating and stuff, I don't think these films will date at all. I think 20 years from now, it will still have the effect it had when, say, Darius, with Darius and especially the benefactress. I do see these being analysed in the future. Because there's a lot of profound things happening in there. And I mean, you've got it all. You've got everything but cannibalism, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Eh,
in my opinion, women are superior in general because biologically they are built differently. They create
yeah.
life, first of all. Uh, they nurture. They are multitask. They have a better survival instinct. They can adapt more to situations than men. And
Mm,
at the same time, they can be far more cruel and manipulative than men. And this
yeah.
film clearly shows that because even though I violate in the film Mystery Woman and at one point even the protagonist Juicy X, um, from behind, um, ultimately uh, the supreme evil is the woman on video link, Electra
Yes.
McBride, and
Yes.
and even Juicy X, even though she's used, I use her, Electra McBride uses her, and so on. But ultimately, even she doesn't have any problem in raping another woman
Mm,
for her own pleasure. The cleaner who appears
yeah.
throughout the end, she just picks dildos, sex toys from all over the place and put it in a rubbish bag. She sees the dead body of Mystery Woman, and instead of being scared or shocked or whatever, what does she do? She gives her oral sex to the point that I, the director, tell her off and say, "What are you doing? Get out of here!" So
Yeah.
you have to read this film in almost an anthropological kind of way and read
Yes.
various levels of cruelty, and it's not difficult to understand that most of the evil in this film comes from women. It doesn't come from
Oh,
me. It
absolutely.
comes from-
Yeah, yeah. I think that's an important point as well. I think that's the whole point of this film is to showcase, okay, rape is disgusting. It's
yeah,
terrible. This is
yeah,
what it feels like for women. Yep. And
yeah,
once again, you're able to draw that out. Yep. And you're right. It's that you acting it was kind of like in a very immature way. It's like you were trying to up yourself to be as cruel as the woman, but did not actually achieve that because the woman surpassed you completely with their evilness and wickedness was very profound. And I think that's the point was that not to showcase you as a superior being, but an inferior person. And if people can't see that, I don't know. There's like something wrong with them if they can't see that in the film. I mean, they're obviously watching it with a blindfold on or something. Can you
yeah.
explain that to me? It's
Yeah,
hmm,
it goes back to mediocrity. I always say this in many occasions. Again, I'm not a liberal.
no,
Um, I
thank
tend
God.
to look down. I tend to look down on mediocrity and people who I regard as second class humans. I don't regard, I'm not for equality, inclusivity. I'm not for that kind of bullshit. I believe there are class A people, class B people, and class C people. That's my vision of the world. Class B people, I tend to be kind of indifferent towards them. Class C people, I trust them. Fortunately or unfortunately, depends. We live in a democracy, so we have to tolerate the existence of Class C people. But my attitude towards Class C people is, look, if it was down to me, you would be in a labor camp. That would be my attitude. You would be in a fucking labor camp, working until you fucking drop dead. So that's my attitude towards Class C people. And even in the audience, when I see Class C people who jerk off with stupid cliche horror films, thinking that they watched God knows what, and they are super excited, my thought on that particular individual or people is, you useless, mediocre beings. And that is present in the film. At the end, you will see, if you remember, a photograph of myself with a little note that says, only the enlightened can taste the fruit of freedom, whilst in the valley of shit, the useless sleep. That is my own statement that says to the entire audience, whoever of you is Class A people, please come forward, come to me. Everybody else, fucking die.
I love the way you think. I really do. I've met so many people in my life, and I've never met anyone like you. You just say it as it is, and there's no bullshitting, which is very it's just you just don't meet people like this anymore. I don't know. I love the fact that you're spitting on the PC world. You're spitting on mediocre people, conventions, all the corporations, the libertine people, or all that sort of stuff is I don't know. I can see it in the film. I know there've been other people that can see all that in the film as well. But then you do get these useless people that are just, I don't know, they just like horror for slashes and all that sort of stuff. And this isn't because the Benefactress is not a horror. It's got a theme of horror, as in the theme of rape is horror. That's horror in itself. But I've been finding it quite hard to categorize this one. But then at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it's not going to be shown in cinemas anyway. So you don't have to worry about all that censorship bullshit. You can just, you've got it out there now. Blood Pack Films has got it. They're distributing it and they're doing wonderful things with it. Shane Michaels is just way 100% with you. And I really, really, I'm so glad to see there's so many people that are backing you and are backing the fact that, we're sick of Hollywood shit. We're sick of people making cut and paste films. This one is not only unique, but it's like a 1 in a billion chances of making a film to this caliber. And your editor, I mean, between you two, I mean, are you absolutely 100% happy with this film? Was there anything that you wish you could have done differently, or
Good
or did
question.
it just
Good question. I the fact is, I am so volatile as a person. I change my mind every 5 minutes. You know, I changed the story and the structure, if I can call it structure, of this film 100 times.
Wow.
So this film, the way it is today, I mean, on DVD and on streaming, it's the way I intended to do it at that particular time. Will I do it differently if I would be doing the film today? Maybe yes. Simply because my mind keeps
Changing.
flying and changing things all
Yeah.
the time. So that's a blessing in one way and a curse in the other way because Darius, same thing. I mean, I wrote some drafts and I ended up doing something completely different. I ignored the drafts. So whatever I write down, I realized with the experience of these two films in particular that I ignored my own notes. I ignored
Wow.
my own instructions simply because I'm a creature of uh, I create in the moment. I
Yeah.
experiment in the moment. I've never been good in preparing things so perfectly and to do exactly what I wrote. That's not how my mind works. My mind works in the moment, and that was
Wow.
another blessing I had with these two actresses because both Juicy X and Mystery Woman, they both come from traditional acting
Mm.
background with traditional structure, traditional directors, traditional script with dialogue and so forth. And they went from there to this with me,
Yes.
where the only instruction was Juicy, touch her there, and in the meantime, I will masturbate. Juicy, turn around. I want to see your buttocks. Open your buttocks. Mystery Woman, you turn around, stick your dildo inside, please. Do that. Do this. Do this. And again, it was like a group of teenager experimenting sexuality in an artsy kind of way.
Yes.
Um, in one location, one specific location where inhibition, shame, morality, all of that was out of the window completely. And
Yep.
there was no way on earth that I could have made this film the way it is with other actresses. They are phenomenal actresses, extremely brave, and they contributed a lot
Yes.
uh, in the film. I mean, they are vital in this film.
Oh,
Absolutely
yes.
vital.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the scenes, especially the one with when you ejaculate for real on Juicy X's buttocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has caused quite a stir. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I have come back with, well, this is a consenting adult situation. They're not kids. Get a life. And while you're at it, go watch some cartoons or something and calm the fuck
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
because it's
She
just
kept
like,
on performing. She kept on performing. That's what
yeah,
I like about these whole experience. When I ejaculated on her, she didn't stop. She
no,
carried on abusing Mystery Woman. She carried on until I say cut.
yep,
So that level of professionalism, because I told them, do not stop until I say cut.
yep,
So it shows you the level of professionalism. They went all the way to the end,
yes.
without stopping. And again, it takes an incredible amount of courage,
Oh,
talent,
yeah.
and quality to do that.
Yes, yes. So I saw the, oh, the just amazing interview with Travis Bruce and Mystery Woman. Wow. What a shame I wasn't there. Unfortunately, our internet connection between America and New Zealand is the worst of it's the pits. So basically, I couldn't actually be there, unfortunately. But I watched it, and oh my god, between her and Mystery Woman and Juicy X, they both walked away from this with a profound sense of, like their experience of it was something that they've both said they will carry them with this. This is their something they will carry for the rest of their lives, an experience that's never happened to them before. And I would even think that going back to traditional acting after being starred in The Benefactress would be quite a downer, I'd say, having to meet, the expectations, but because you don't even have camera operators, boom operators, you don't have anybody. It's just you and your cameras, and
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it is it makes it such an intimate experience as well. So I can see why the woman gravitated to you in this film, like, as in the actresses wanted to be a part of this because of who you are and your vision. And your vision is mind-blowing. I mean, I don't think anyone could pick your brain and safely walk away alive, because your mind is like, I don't it's just your creative ability, and you're a workaholic. I know that. You're a workaholic. And I'm wondering, how the hell are you going to get on in life now without these films, without creating? I know there's other artistic avenues you can go down, like music again or whatever, but photography and all that, which is great. Um, but really, you're gonna be missed. I mean, you
Well, I
flew
mean,
in and you
there
flew
was
out.
there was going to be potentially a third feature film. Um, the title was Glory Hole: A Place for
That's
Man.
right.
I did find a bunch of young men, early 20s, um, which I liked very much. We engaged sexually online together. And all of them have girlfriends, they were, good lads. And I did ask them if they were willing to become my male muses in my next film, with real penetration, for my next film, where basically the whole film was going to be all of us doing each other and strangling each other. I checked on internet the length of time in which a human being can survive in terms of
It
strangulation.
mhm.
And I did ask them, would you be willing to do it for real with me and the others all together, and strangling each other to the point of fainting? And they were all excited. This was going to be filmed in a basement in the outskirts of London at night, in a stinking shithole, completely dark, where we could just fuck each other in the ass, and film each other with a hand camera. It was going to be an explosive film, actually, in terms of cinematic power. But
Yeah.
as I said previously, because my mind changes completely every 5 minutes, at the last minute, I just said, you know what? The Benefactress will be my second and last. And I will do other things. Experimental photography is one of them. And to me, creating is about expressing yourself fully, in a very honest way. Those suckers who regard my cinema as the work of a twisted, perverted mind, uh, in my opinion, they are hypocrites, because everybody is a fucking perv. Everybody is dirty. Everybody is wild. The question is, are you honest enough to admit it to yourself that you are a fucking animal, or you want to play goody goody and say, I'm not like that. That's the difference. The difference is there are suckers out there, mostly liberals, like I say, who believe that women should not be violated in cinema, that the human body should not be, offended in some way. To me, it's all about the art. Whatever the art requires, it's like almost like a creature. You feed this creature with whatever it needs, and
Yep.
evidently my cinema hides different levels of humanity. I mean, if you look closely,
Yes.
both of my films, Darius and The Benefactress, there's a lot of psychology in those
Mm.
films, both of them. I mean, in both films there's a high degree of psychology, and just because superficial, mediocre, class C people see only what they want to see, it doesn't mean that those films, and this one in particular, The Benefactress, doesn't hide layers of psychology. It's quite the opposite. It's all about psychology. The question is, are you able to see it, or you're just so fucking blind that you only see what you want to see? In The Benefactress, we see manipulation, we see exploitation, we see control, we see obsession for the artistic creation. We see powers that be.
Yeah.
We see a lot of things. We see power play. There's a lot of things going on in this film,
Very
and just
layered. It's
yeah, and
very
just
layered. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And again, I don't expect class C people, which to me are, like I say, people that if I was the leader of a country, I would fucking lock them up in a labor camp until they drop dead. So to me, they are absolutely irrelevant. Whether they live, die, think, talk, write, shit, pee, drink, eat, whatever, I don't give a fuck about them. I
Yeah.
only care about the exclusive niche of audience, the class A people,
Yeah.
which is a minority, an
Yeah.
exclusive minority, which I address my work, my film to, not mediocre people that to me
Yeah.
mean absolutely nothing.
I think the people who really, so I won't say I enjoyed the film. What I'll say is, there are many elements in it that I found exceptional. And when you look past all the sexuality of it, you can actually pinpoint quite a lot of human psychological behaviors going on, and I think that in itself is poignant, because it shows the level of cruelty that women possess. And I think perhaps that's why women gravitate to this, because um, we have it in us. Women have it in us to virtually to be cruel murderers. If something's not right, a woman scorned, whereas a man, basically, he can just be brutal and just finish it. He can just be brutal, kill somebody, and then that's it. There's a That's the level of psychology I was looking at while I was watching this, was the things that are going on in the film. The components that make up this film is the brilliance of it. I think the beauty of it is that the level of artistry that's gone into it. It's not just a weekend of you guys having a massive orgy. Oh, no, 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 no. It's not that at all. It's way more intense than that. It's elaborated the psychological behavior of between women and men, and women on women. Violence between women on women has always touched a nerve with me, because women get bullied at girls get bullied at school by girls, and they are nasty. Girls
Yeah.
are women, nasty, nasty, and you portrayed this 100%. never seen before. I've never seen anything before like that. And then we have you as the director, who's very immature, wants to, I can see you wanting to control the situation. You are controlling the situation, but I also felt like you were in peril. I also felt like there could have been Mystery Woman or say Juicy X could have turned on you, and then you would have been, you know, the one that was going to be raped, sodomized, beaten, dead, and then have your body necrophilia. You know, that's what I got from the film as well. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on that or not, but I picked up on that, and I think that's fucking brilliant, dude.
There are women who recently contacted me, well, through Messenger, and they watched the film, and quite few women they were sexually attracted to Mystery Woman a lot. I had one in particular. She's probably 20 years old, a gothic kind of girl, with a boyfriend, because I saw pictures on her Facebook, and she has a massive sexual crush on Mystery Woman, and
Wow.
I mean massive, yeah, and I had another woman who is a bit older, and she said that she watched the film, and without even realizing, she actually came. She came looking at Mystery
Ah.
Woman. She was so sexually aroused by the whole experience, because she was kind of imagining herself being Juicy X, doing those things to Mystery Woman. And I had
Wow.
a reviewer, a guy, who apparently, I will never forget that, because he actually wrote a review about it. He watched the film and he gave the film, I think, 1 star or something like that, because he blamed me for causing him an erection, but not with the actresses, but with me, because he said, I saw your hard cock, and I was so aroused, and I hate you for it, and he wrote a bad review about it. And so that gives you an indication of different people reacting differently, and but sexuality touches a lot of them in one way or another. There's women who, like I said, one in particular, she wants to know who Mystery Woman is. She wants to have her, and she's young enough to be, her niece,
Yeah.
and I had directors as well who wanted to know who Juicy X was to cast her, and I said, fuck you, she's my
She's
actress,
yours.
you know so again, but this indicates that people react differently to a film like that.
But the
One
fact people are reacting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, again, I did have something like that with Darius. I had
Yes.
women who were very attracted to Il Argento,
Yep.
but never to the degree of the Benefactress. I had tons of women who asked me about Mystery Woman. They screenshot the picture of Mystery Woman. They clearly told me they were wet throughout the film, and they wanted to be Juicy X, basically, in doing those things to Mystery Woman. And these are not
Wow.
evil women. These are not evil women. It shows you that the human psychology is a very complex thing. It doesn't mean you are an evil woman or an evil person, but it means that if you are exposed to something of this level, of course you're going to be touched. And sexuality is a very primordial thing, so we feel it. It's like if I see, like I say, if I see a woman with big breasts, I tend to have her. If I see a good-looking lad, I grab him and I take him. So it's very instinctive. It's very primordial. As long as there is
Yep.
consent, of course, that always. But yeah, it's very much the law of the jungle. I mean, during the Roman Empire, it was an everyday thing even for men to go out and look for young men and bring them at home and have them, or for
Yep.
women as well, for women to go out and look for other women and go somewhere and have them. It was a
Yeah.
normal thing during the Roman Empire, and this is not different from that. Only in modern times. I mean, here's your woman. There's another woman. She wants her. I want both of them, and then I might want the other one, and then she can interchange with me. It's it's a power play game of sexuality, oppression, and pleasure.
Well, sexuality has a lot to do with your personality in general.
Yeah,
We can see that in every single film you've done, even the earlier films with Bits and the Baron and the Harpsichord and Corporate Torment and It Burns Like Hell and stuff like that. It seems to be part of your characterization, your personality, and I think maybe that could be the point of why a lot of men are very judgmental against you. There's a lot of jealousy going on there because you get to live your life. You get to live the life that they wish they could actually live.
yeah,
There's a lot of disenchantment out there. A lot of people not living their sole purpose. People not expressing themselves in the correct way. Whereas you've done all that. You've expressed yourself in your films. You've expressed your sexuality in your films. You're not scared to say it either, and you're not scared to say you're bisexual or you're basically a very, very sexually active man, and it's part of who you are, and basically, I guess that's why people do get a little bit jealous. But I think with women, what it does is like I've said to you before, what you do is you express how we are feeling, almost like you are a woman, which is really, a very strange dynamic. A man being able to understand, this is what rape is. You're told what to do. You're hit and you're beaten and you're all this horrible stuff's happening to you and all that. But it translated really well into this film, which it did with Darius as well. But Darius has had more horror scenes. It was very horrific, whereas this one was horrifying in itself, but in a different artistically presented way, if you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is, so I think that's what is happening is that men probably see you living the dreams, basically, of you're fulfilling your primordial desires, and they are feeling primordial desires, but they can't do anything about it. And I
yeah,
think that's what is really quite it's you're not a psychopath. I just have to put that. You are not a psychopath. This is not, you don't produce these films because you're a psycho. Um, you're not mentally ill. You don't have schizophrenia. You're not a pervert. You're not a deviant. You're not a rapist. You're just an indie filmmaker with an extraordinary vision that includes a lot of profound themes and issues that are there and are relevant today and will still be relevant in 20 years' time and were relevant 2,000 years ago. So I like that you have absolutely managed to harness that, grab it, and you've gone, blah, benefactress, here we go. You know,
Yeah,
Darius.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I
you're
mean,
extraordinary.
the whole point of creating, in this case, cinema, filmmaking, is to be artistically honest,
Yes.
and I I remember firing female candidates for this film. This was about less than a year ago. In
Wow.
some occasion, some candidates were fired simply for asking the wrong question, such as, "Oh, is there any nudity or sexuality in this film?" And I say, "What you just say means you're out. If you
Yeah.
ask, is because you're worried. And if you're worried, you're not going to be my actress. I need wild women, women who can get wet, women who can perform, women who are not afraid to go with me on this journey, because this is a journey that I can take only if I have the right cast of actresses.
Yes.
It's not a journey I can do on my own. I can't do that. And Mystery Woman, which I told her, and we actually laughed about it a couple of times. When she got up from the bed was full of stains. She was practically coming. She was wet, and that was beautiful because I told her, you're so beautiful, that's femininity in the purest form, and and she was like a little kid, and she's not a
Yeah.
little kid. She's a middle-aged woman, and yet she was like a little kid, all wet and happy, and that to me was magic. Juicy X, she was perfectly comfortable. She wasn't tense or anything. The atmosphere was electric, but we all knew we were creating something unique, a one-off experience. And again, it's about the vision. It's about what you want. I've never been able to come to compromise. Just like the male candidates for my potential third film, I told them from the beginning, I like you all, and I want to do you for real, all of you. And they say, yeah, let's do it, man. And they were not homosexuals; they were, with girlfriends and so on. But they say, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's fucking do it. And I, they send me pictures of themselves,
Yep.
how hard they are, and they saw me as well. So it was beautiful because we were like exploring one another, and preparing each other for that potential film. So,
Yeah.
and with Benefactress, is the same thing. We prepared for months with online meetings preparing for the film. They knew exactly the type of film this was going to be. They didn't know the exact scenes, but they knew I was going to ask them the impossible, and they delivered 100%. This
Yeah.
film is a unique piece of cinema, and like I said, it's not meant to be liked. It's not meant to be even appreciated by the average asshole. I had film critics who watched the film and refused to review the film. I had others who did review and praised the film. I had others who saw the film and trashed the film. So it's different kind of mixed reactions, And
Yeah.
I had actresses, some quite young, that they saw the Benefactress and they offered themselves to become my actresses. And I say, you're coming late because
Yeah.
there won't be any more films. So, again, but all of these happen in secrecy. Even with the Benefactress, I had candidates. I'll never forget this one. She was a lawyer in London, I looked up on internet for her name, and she still is one of the most prominent lawyers in London, in her 60s, and she wanted to be in the Benefactress using an alias. You know,
Jeez.
yeah,
You
she,
also had a police officer too, didn't
yeah,
you?
yeah, police
See?
woman. Yeah, I mean, I had quite a few people offering, but in secrecy, without their
Yes.
husband
Yes.
knowing, on the condition that they use aliases. And so, again, these are realities that I
Yes.
experienced behind closed doors in secrecy, um, throughout this period, before
Yeah.
the Benefactress, in preparation for the Benefactress.
Yes, because you were preparing for a few months for this, weren't you? My
Yeah,
goodness. And as the countdown came closer, everyone was all excited and, oh my God, how's this going to turn out? And then you produce this brilliant film that just blows everything out of the water, really. And the fact that people like lawyers, police officers, people in high positions wanted to be in this film. They also wanted to continue, well, they wanted to be in your future films, which isn't going to happen. That says a lot. That says it all, doesn't it? That says about also human psychology when it comes to women, and that that secret part of them that wants to do certain stuff, the same with the
yeah,
males
yeah,
in general
yeah.
want to be able to do things that they can't do because there's a moral, I think there's a moral and ethical thing that stops them. Whereas you don't give a fuck, right?
No,
You don't care what people think,
no.
which is beautiful. It's beautiful. This is what we need more of, obviously. No, so what I was quite concerned about was your mental health during this one, because I know that you suffered a little bit during Darius, and how did you fare this time around? Was it a little bit better,
Yeah, it,
or
it, it was better. Although at one point, I wanted to just drop the whole project. But again, that is very much part of me. Uh, I mean, in general, I wrote so many projects, short films especially, and feature films. And at the end, I changed my mind and say, fuck this. And the
yeah?
same with the Manufacturers. At one point during the editing, I just wanted to drop it and say, you know what, fuck this shit. And then
Oh,
a few days later, I changed my mind, and I carried on. But again, I'm used to that because my mind, like I say, is so volatile. I change my mind every 5 minutes. So in a way, I'm kind of lucky to have been able to have completed two films, but both films were this close, for being practically destroyed. Darius was almost destroyed. At one point, I really, actually, I did ask my editing assistant to destroy the file during the
oh
editing of
God.
Darius, and he said, "Fuck you! I'm not gonna do it. We worked so hard for this. We're gonna continue." And with the Benefactress, like I said, there was one specific moment where I just wanted to drop it. Again, God knows why. So, by the end, I continued and I made the film I made. I regard this film personally as my, um, perhaps the most profound act of cinematic expression, because
It's your masterpiece. It's your
I want
masterpiece.
I wanted to break all rules. I wanted to break all rules of cinema,
Yep, you did.
completely. And yeah,
You did.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I love about it as well, is that you don't go for the token characters. I hate that token character bullshit. And I am a female, yes, but I'm not a feminist. Definitely not. I think the feminist movement has actually done the opposite effect of what it was actually supposed to do, and it's put women in really just vulnerable positions, I think. And the fact that you take all that on board, but then you just like you just don't you just go and make whatever you want to make. And I think that's what's lacking. That's what's lacking in the world is people that like you who have the creativity and the skill, the expertise to come up with a film that will just blow every other film out of the water. And people talk about your films for years. People analyze them. Students go frame by frame and look at everything that's going on. Do people do that with Halloween or Freddy Krueger or Ed Gein? No, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
gives a fuck because you're talking about real issues here that actually mean something, and the fact that you're not falling for this traditional filming shit it's like a breath of fresh air. I think that's why I gravitated to you after I saw Darius, was because I love these films. I love films like this. I always have. I'm a Clockwork Orange fan from way back. All those Requiem for Dreams, all those crazy films that people are like smash in the, it's like, well, actually, no. I loved it. It was absolutely, and then I saw Darius, and I was like, oh my god, who is this person? And it's just you with a camera and a vision and
yeah.
a couple of team members, and that's it. There's no big production. It's not a $500 million production, a shoestring budget, no crowdfunding, you know,
No,
um,
no.
and you get to express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. And I commend you on that. I really do. And I know people are going to slam me for liking your films, but you know what? I actually don't give a fuck. That's why I've decided I'm going to write your biography. Everybody should know by now that I'm writing your biography, and it is explosive. It is explosive.
The fact that you can't live your life worrying about what other people think
Oh,
or say. The point is, to me, really, I honestly don't give a flying fuck whatever some idiots think of me, because at the end, I've been told by quite a few people, they say, look, Gorilla, the reason why some people might be kind of angry with you is because perhaps they might feel jealous or envious
yeah,
in one way or another. Because, I had actresses who were able to do what most actresses would be so fucking afraid to do. I was able um, to make my own rules in both of my films. I mean, the actress from Darius, she came with her husband in London here. The husband left to visit the city. Um, and I had my actress all for me. I mean, to me, uh, the actress becomes, in a way, almost like my artistic lover. So if I
yeah.
say get undressed, it doesn't mean oh, whenever you feel like, we no hurry, get undressed. No, it means get undressed now,
Now.
because
Mm.
I want you naked now. You become part of my work, part of my creation. And with the Benefactress, same thing. I
Yep.
was shooting the film, I was touching Mystery Woman, fingering Mystery Woman, even off screen. That's how connected we were. And it was beautiful because both actresses became part of my vision. They forgot about being actresses and they became one thing with me. And that's
Yeah.
why the film works.
You're right. That's why it works. Yeah. Because there's chemistry everywhere. You can see it. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. So, oh wow. Do you have anything else you wanna talk
No,
about?
no, we pretty
No?
much covered everything.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, so Foursome TV. So I will put the link to is it's still on there, isn't it? Just
Yes,
yes, of
yes.
course it is. Yeah, I just don't know about these streaming platforms, whether they put things on and then take them off again. I'm not sure. So
It
I'll link
is
it in the
it
description.
is on Fossum at the moment. Well, hopefully for a long time. It
Yes.
will be on two more platforms also. Uh, but
Wow.
but I am very much like Saint Thomas in the Bible. Until I see, I don't believe. So, but
Right.
they are interested in taking the Benefactress on. And of course, Blood Pact Films have
Yes.
produced physical media, DVDs and Blu-ray, which are sold not only in America but globally. So the
Yes,
film,
and they're
i-
selling
i-
out.
yeah, is
They're
doing
selling
well.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Not that I would have thought it wouldn't, because of course we know it was going to fly off the bloody shelf. So absolutely. Well, honestly, I just it's just so sad that you're leaving. It's just
Well,
I don't
I'm
know.
not gonna die. I will still be around in
Yeah.
other forms through other things. But as as a filmmaker, like I say, my decision to stop after two films is also not only but also to preserve artistic purity,
Yes.
not to drop the quality of my work.
I don't think I really don't think you could surpass the benefactress. I mean, without going into, say, uh, total pornography, like with Glory Hole or something like that, I really don't think. I really don't. This is your masterpiece. This is what happens. People don't know when to quit, and so they keep going and going, and the quality of the work gets worse and worse and worse because they hit a peak, and then they think, "Oh, I'm the greatest shit, since toast
Yeah,
bread. So I'm just going to go and they do, and it flops. You are
yeah,
leaving at your peak,
yeah,
basically like a young person dying, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
a,
yeah,
a beautiful death because they're beautiful and they die, and this is basically what you've done is you've come in here, you've swept in 2020, 2025, or 2026, you're out the door. I know you and I will still have contact because of the book we're writing, that I'm writing about you, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
So we'll have contact, but basically, you've got some more review. Have you got any more interviews lined up coming up, or?
I've got one potentially for Kings of Horror.
Yes,
Um, yeah,
cool.
and I might have possibly another one or two or whatever, but I won't be doing many more. I've done
Right.
enough interviews for this film,
Yeah.
and from the next couple of months onwards, it will be just reviews from critics, reviewers, and
Excellent.
so on, and promotion. I mean, recently, Blood Pact Films was at a convention in United States with their films. The Benefactress was obviously one of them.
Yeah.
So people had an opportunity to see the DVD for the first time, and some bought it. So again, film clubs, which I mentioned previously in Europe and in America, they are screening the Benefactress. Other film clubs once they saw it, they trashed it. So for each person or each film club or each film critic, film reviewer, whatever, for every two people, only one says yes, and the other one says no.
Yes, no.
And again, that to me is a good thing, because
Yes,
whatever creates a question mark in people's mind, uh, it means it is not something ordinary. You
that's
know?
right.
So that's how I see it.
That's exactly how I see it as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If it can bring up a debate, you've done something good, you know? Exactly. Well, I hope that I get to interview you after Searching for the Perfect Butterfly is released.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might have
Yeah.
to see if you're still around for that and drag you
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
channel,
Always.
see what you
Always.
think.
Absolutely. I look
Oh,
forward to it. And
excellent.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been a privilege having you here. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening. Yeah, and we'll let you go now, but until next time, guys, this is Gorilla, and in the description is where you can go and watch for free, which is awesome. And yeah, just yeah, just anyway, enjoy it. Um I'm not very good at giving trigger warnings because I'm like, well, if you're gonna watch horror, well, you should be you should
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
looking after yourself anyway. So for Christ's
Yeah.
sakes, whatever,
Yeah.
just watch it and just see what you think and just go
Yeah.
and have a shower afterwards, maybe. Anyway, lovely talking to you again, my friend, and I'll talk to you after this. But until next time, guys, thank you for being on my channel and watching this wonderful interview with Guerrilla Metropolitana on his film The Benefactress, an exposure of cinematic freedom. And like I said, it's on Foursome TV, so I'll give the link for you guys down in the description. Until next time, stay safe and please be kind out there, people, because this world sucks at the moment. So let's just take care of each other, okay, and be kind. Thank you. Bye.